Good afternoon, Raider Nation. My name is Brent Johnson. Alongside me is Cody Wiles, senior at Bacon County High School. We represent BCTV Productions from the Engineering and Technology Department. We're broadcasting live on the NFHS network powered by Play On Sports. We are in the Final Four of the GHSA State Baseball Tournament, and we are in Elberton, Georgia, playing the Elbert County Comprehensive High School Blue Devils. They are ranked number 2 in the state of Georgia. Say so of Max Prep. We are number 3. They are number 1 seed out of Region 8 AA in the northeast part of the United States, northeast part of the state of Georgia, and we represent the 3rd seed out of the toughest Region Region AA school or in the state, Region 2. They're doing the starting lineups now. As you can tell, we are relegated to the outfield. Which is not a big deal. We've done outfields before. Maybe our first baseball outfield live broadcast. We've done some softball where the fence isn't quite as far out. So I want to do my best to get some good camera shots. We'll try to move the camera around a little bit for you as the ball moves around. Hopefully it moves around a lot here in the bottom of the first. We're facing a team today that is highly talented. Some say they're the best team in the state, and they're on their way to state championship. They're first in their school history, but we're looking for our second state championship from this group of young men from Bacon County High School. We're getting ready for the national anthem, and we're going to pause for that now. This is a best-of-3 series. There will be a doubleheader played today. Starting time approximately 5 p.m. The second game will follow 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game, somewhere around 7:30, 8 o'clock we anticipate. Best of 3 means you win 2, you go home. Lose 2, you go home. Except you go home to play some more if you win. That's what we're looking at doing. I do have... And again, I apologize already. It's difficult for us to see out here, our phones, everything. I'm trying to look at a lineup here for the home team. I do want to make mention that Bowen will be on the mound for the Blue Devils. Bowen is the number 2 starter, as what we're told. He is 8-1 on the 8-0 on the season. All of these pitchers are talented. Colton Moon will play shortstop. He is their number 1 pitcher. I believe he is 12-11 or 12-1 on the season. ERA .65. These guys, I think he is signed to go to Clemson University, so that tells you he's a pretty big deal. Again, we've heard everything. We just got to see it for ourselves now, and hopefully we can put the bat on the ball and put some pressure on their defense. But these Red Raiders are going to be ready for the task. We're not going to take a quick break. We're going to have Dawson Dial is going to lead it off for the Red Raiders. There's the big lefty, throws it low and inside. And when I say big, this kid's 6'4", 225 is what he's listed at. See if I can't get this camera a little more level for us here. Apologize. Ball's fouled out of play. I'll try to do a good job of commentating, zooming in quite a bit to the plate so you can see that, but strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cody, my normal helper here, he usually keeps an eye on the scoreboard and the counting all for me. Unfortunately, he's sitting by, well, maybe fortunately, he's in the shade. This ball is fouled. He's not my spotter anymore. He's relegated to behind the fence, literally. But again, Bacon County with a visiting team, game 1. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, 1 out. I don't see anything yet just overpowering by this young man. Obviously, he's got good stuff, just like our big lefty, Altman, that will take the mound. Again, the tighter I get to home plate, the better you see that, but I'm fearful I'm not going to be able to get the camera back in time to maybe show you the play. This ball is lifted into left field. That's a base hit by Nipper, just what the doctor ordered. Again, I had to whip it around rather quick. Base hit in the left center. 1 on, 1 out here. It's going to bring Foster to the plate. This field looks a little short. Maybe by 10 or 15 feet because there is an old fence behind us here, about 15 feet from where this fence is. I'm not sure the distances. Little toss over there. But at this point, folks, Final Four, both of these teams should be really good. It's okay that this team, Elberton, is good. Ball inside. 1-1 the count. 1 out, 1 on. I want to definitely thank the sponsors that we have for us. I will run through that at the break here in between innings. Got a commercial set up just for that, and I'll talk more about them specifically as well. Ball outside. A big crowd here from Bacon County, 100 plus. We may have almost as many fans as they have, but by the night's over, I got a feeling we might have about as many as them. Ball low. There's a walk, 2 on with 1 out. Just what the doctor ordered. Brings cleanup. Altman, who is the big lefty that'll be on the mound for us today in the first game. And Tyler has one of the hottest bats in the lineup. Strike. He took a little something off of that just to make it get over the plate. Again, 2 on. Base hit would be big here. Tyler reaches out, touches nothing. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Swing and a miss, strike 3. It's going to be the second out. You don't see that too often. Tyler striking out, especially in recent. It's going to bring the sophomore to the plate, Newberry. Should have brought my sunscreen. This reminds me of Social Circle back in October. Shane Bennett. Newberry seeing the ball really well. Had 2 doubles the other night in game 2 versus Bleckley. Elbert County defeated Thomasville last week to advance to the Final Four. Another ball low. 2 balls, no strikes. If we can just put the bat on the ball, I've been talking all week, put some pressure on their defense. Another swing and a miss by one of our batters. Two balls, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Not sure if he's got some late movement or what. It's hard to tell, making it difficult for our batters. They do average about 8 strikeouts a game as a staff. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He strikes out the side after 1 hit and 1 walk. No harm, no foul for the Elbert County Blue Devils. We're going to go to the bottom half of the first inning, 0-0. We're going to take a quick break and honor our sponsors. Well, first of all, while these sponsors are coming up, a huge thanks to Mr. Chris Wilcox and Wilcox Communications. Out in Raider Nation in military lands abroad. But you see the little video as it runs through of our sponsors, and I certainly thank each and every one of them, and I'll talk specifically about each one throughout the game. We'll be back in just a moment. Hunt is at the plate, leading off for the Blue Devils. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good looking pitch on that inside corner by Altman. This ball is hit in the gap. Foster recovers, throws to second. Got a stand-up double. to lead off the game. Yes, that's right. He just called Bowen. Bowen to the plate. The pitcher. When I say he's a big kid, he's a big kid. Runner at second. No outs. Swing and a miss at off-speed pitch. Made him look bad. Who's on deck, Cody? Again, folks, I apologize. It's hard for us to see out here.
Number 10, Colton Moon.
Okay, there's Moon. That's a good pitch for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes on the big lefty. Trying to help himself here. The runner in scoring position. Ball's knocked down by the shortstop. Saves a run. Great play by Nobles. Runners will be at the corner. A lot of confidence here by the fans, just listening, a casual conversation. And rightfully so, only 5. Got a timeout as James comes to make sure everybody's square on the infield with what's going on. One particular, I'll take this moment to one particular sponsor, brand new sponsor to Red Raider Broadcasting on the NFHS network, and that is the Blueberry Barn. I was a little embarrassed the other day. I told her right off the bat. It's the first time I was ever walked into her store. And my wife's been in a couple times, but Miss Ann Wiles, I've known her all my life, literally. Me and her son grew up together. We were literally born the same night. I was born about 11:30 on the 24th of September. He was born about 12:30 or 1 on the 25th of September. But had to apologize to her. I said, "Have you ever been in here before? I'm coming here to ask you for something." So I'm kind of embarrassed, but she was more than willing to help our broadcast, and I'm more than willing to give huge shout-outs to her and her business. And, man, she's got some wonderful things there in her store. I couldn't leave without some chocolate-covered blueberries. Swinging them. Oh, you got a piece of it. Chocolate-covered blueberries, folks. Again, Tyler Altman on the mound, 12-1 on the season. Has a great move to first. There he was just kind of lazily tossed over, keep him honest. Big kid there. I'm not sure what kind of speed he's got. Colton Moon at the plate. He's one of their best. Maybe he's the number 1 pitcher. Probably see him game 2. There goes the runner. They hit and run. If it was in play, Colton swung and fouled it. I'm sorry, that's not the pitcher on first. They did have a courtesy runner. Number 2. We'll try to get a name on that young man. This Colton Moon, he's not a big kid, 6 foot, 160 pounds. He's all arm, evidently, so he can really sling it. Ball a little low, brings the count to 1-2. See if Tyler can come back strong here and get this young man. A strikeout will be huge with no outs, runners at first and third. Strikeout, a pop-up. This kid's got the pinch runner here, or courtesy runner, obviously has some speed. Tempting Tyler to throw over, and he does. If I can come out a little, you can see it there. There he takes off. And there's a swing. Runner's going to score. We're going to get the out at first. get the sure out. However, it's 1-0 early. Banks comes to the plate. What's Banks done on the season? What's his average? Runner at second, one out. One in already. One out, yep. Throw back to first, and he's out. Oh, what? Oh, did he drop the ball? He had him. He was fisting to hammer him, but he dropped the ball. What a great play. That's a missed opportunity. That's the kind of good things you need to have happen to you in games of this magnitude. You can be, we talked about it, several different people this week, people that would know, championship caliber coaches, that, you can be as good a team as you want, but some things, you got to make some things happen. Some good things have got to go your way. It's a good-looking pitch. One ball, one strike, one out. And, folks, we're literally in the outfield over the left fielder's shoulder. And the camera is on top of a table. I'm standing on the equipment box. Cody has the luxury of being in a seat. Trying to work out of a jam here with one already in. Swing and a miss, a big cut by the young man. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, a strikeout here would be huge. I'll try to level the camera up a little bit in between innings. And that's a foul ball. This, as I suspected, I saw on Google Maps, and you can go to Google Maps, you can see exactly where we're at. This is not a fan-friendly ballpark. I knew that coming here. I just really didn't realize how bad it was. This ball's popped up in the shallow right field, and I said earlier we're over the shoulder of the left fielder, but we're actually in right field. I'm sorry. That was to my left. Foster makes the play for the second out. Lavender to the plate. The majority of their fans are on the first base side, which is our side, which is very strange. It's a good pitch. Just a little high. Foul tip. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. I said earlier, there's a lot of confidence bowling around here, and maybe rightfully so, from this Elbert County High School. Strike. He wanted to swing, but he couldn't make himself, but it's a great pitch by Tyler. And that is Foster you see in the bottom of your screen there in right field. Strikeout will be huge here. Stop the bleeding. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tyler gets out of the inning, only giving up 1 run, which I think is significant considering. Had a runner at first with that opening leadoff double by the young man. Kind of stunned us a little bit. But it's 1-0. That means we got to score at least 2 to win this game. So we're going to take a break, honor our sponsors, and be back here in just a moment. Taylor Houston, Houston to the plate. And they pronounce it wrong every time if we don't tell the announcer. Houston, and this young man's not afraid to swing at the first pitch, and he has a hot bat, and he's a freshman. He holds off. Crowd doesn't like, as you can tell. Want to welcome anyone else surveying from around the state. There's only just a handful of ball games being broadcasted today. There's strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Us, Pierce, Charlton, and maybe Pope. Ball outside. And again, it's Caleb Houston. Foul ball. Got to find a way to put the ball in play. But we're trouble 1 through 9 in our batting lineup as of recent. Game 1. Another swing and a miss. That's 4 strikeouts already in this young ball game. Hey, that guy upstairs obviously is having some trouble even reading. He's calling Peyton Nobbs. It's Peyton Nobles, our senior leader. Big swing and a miss. It's going to be strike 2. This young man does have some good stuff. Ball's fouled out of play. Ball's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball really low. Bounces up, catches the catcher. He's going to have to take a little walk. Gather himself. Two balls, 2 strikes for Nobles. Let's see if he can work back in this count. Ball way outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. This is what the Raiders have been able to do. Now, he may strike out here, but we've been able to work these counts, get it into a hitter's count either to get a hit or to draw that walk. Even with 1 and 2 outs, we've scored a ton of runs in the playoffs. And that ball's fouled away. He stays alive. I want to thank Aloha Tanning Salon across from Jay's IGA in the plaza for their sponsorship, as well as Georgia Mill Supply, another brand new sponsor. Another foul ball. James Miles Auto Sales and his son Dylan. I wanted to make sure I put his name on there, and I did. Mr. Miles has been a tremendous supporter of Red Raider Broadcasting over the years. That's Mr. James Miles. And there's ball 4. Tremendous at bat for Peyton. Tremendous at bat, guys. Whether we get a run out of it or not, we're making this young man throw more pitches, extending these innings, as he already has 4 strikeouts. It's going to bring Livingston to the plate, batting from that left side. Livingston, a tremendous athlete. He hits it to second base. They try to turn 2. And they get the lead runner. Wouldn't have been able to make a play at first anyway. Livingston is too fast. It's going to be 2 outs for the Raiders. Brings Cooper Brown to the plate. Catcher for the Red Raiders, and I didn't go around the horn earlier. Apologize. We're still trying to gather ourselves. Ball high. Again, Livingston at first is I say this every game, just a tremendous athlete, very fast. Strike on that lower portion of the plate. And there he goes. And he's going to be out. It's going to end the inning. And I commend Coach James for trying to put a little pressure there on their defense. Had an opportunity. Unfortunately, the pitcher he went just a tad earlier. He was able to come over to first. Usually when you get put in the pickle, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be thrown out, and that's the case there. We're going to take another quick break here on the NFHS Network, powered by Play on Sports. Take a quick look at our sponsors and be back in just a moment. Who? All right, we're back here in the bottom of the second inning. It's still 1-0. Raiders got one on in that last inning, obviously, with a great at bat, and then we got a throw out. Second in the inning. Swing and a miss. Another big kid at the plate. Ball just inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This ball is popped up in the shallow left field. He makes the play. If you could see there, the sun's going down. I can't quite get this, Cody, I can't quite get this camera angle like I want it. Is that pretty square? I think our table's settling. How about that? I need to go the other way? I'm going to leave it there. Again, if you're just joining us here, we're set up in right field. Just over the fence. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Bottom of the second. 1 on the board for Elbert. Ball is base hit right up the middle. Just a C&I single. Anderson to the plate now. It's so hard for us to see even our rosters on our phones and the digital devices. That's the problem. We're depending on too much on our digital devices. Having to really pay attention to the field announcer to get these names correct. Dealing with the wind. I can back it up and see the young man at first there. Goes to the plate. Another base hit. Just over the head, out of the reach of our second baseman and shortstop. It's a little dinker, just the ones that kind of drive you crazy. Got 2 on now with 1 out. Ball a little high there. Swing and a miss. As Tyler pulls the string. I know he's back warming up before the game. I actually posted a video of him doing that on our BC Raider Broadcasting Facebook group page, and he said he feels as good as he has all season long warming up. Another. We're going to get the force out at second. We do get one out of the inning. Again, another seeing eye single. No error, just the ball just landed right between the second baseman and the right fielder. Foster had no chance to get to it. No run score. We do get an out. A great play there by Foster. Runners at the corner once again. 2 innings in a row. And again, I'll apologize one more time for our circumstances, and I won't hush about it. Ms. Komanecki, if you're home listening, less is more. This is a big out right here for the Raiders. Strike. An outside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here. Bottom of the second. Raiders in a little pickle. Runners at the corner again. These young men have been putting the bat on the ball. 3 just little C&I singles in a row. Oh, what a good pitch. Just off the outside corner. Close play at first on the pickoff move. I think you can see that in their angle. This ball has popped up out of play. I want to thank another special sponsor. It's one thing I tried to do this time around. I have some faithful folks around Alma, Georgia that support us year in and year out for softball playoffs and this, that, and the other, but I wanted to get some other people involved, and one is the Nichols Pharmacy in Nichols, Georgia, as well as Joel Williams Insurance. There he goes, but he's fast. And we get the tag down, and he's out. What a play. High throw, and that young man could fly. But we got a quick tag, ends the inning with no harm done. Raiders still trail 1-0, but it could be a lot worse with, again, just hits left and right there up the middle. Again, want to thank our sponsorship. It was a huge shout. All right, Cooper Brown's going to lead us off in the top of the third because of the throw out of the base runner at second base to end the inning. We're about to go through the lineup. He's the number 9 hitter. Hopefully, we'll make a few adjustments. 1 ball, 1 strike. As this big fellow on the mound has had our number early. There's a strike. But maybe we'll lull them to sleep here early. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And we'll be back at the top of the lineup with Dawson Dow, who struck out his first at bat. He struck out 3 of our first 4 batters. Ball out of play. Again, making him work. 3 balls, 2 strikes. A walk here would be huge in this number 9 spot. And he does take ball 4. What a huge at bat by this young man. The catcher, Brown, just a sophomore. Brown will be our starting quarterback next year for the Red Raiders. And we're going to get a courtesy runner for the catcher. And it looks like Xavier Hayes brings Dow to the plate. Dow squares the bunt and fouls it off. We're not your typical small ball team. We are capable of making some plays. And at this point in the scheme of things, you have to do anything you can to manufacture runs. Get them on, get them over, get them in. And there's some much-needed shade. This ball is going to be flied into center field. Could be trouble, but no, he makes a great play. Had to slide back into first. Again, they had a couple, had 3, what I would call those seeing eye singles there in the bottom half of the second. Nipper to the plate with a base hit, his first at bat. Shout out to Mr. Ray Taylor. I'm sure he's at home watching. Send me a text, Ray, if it looks okay and sounds okay. There's strike 1. There's another shadow for some shade of the cloud. Not many clouds in the sky. 90 degrees when this game started. Ball is hit hard, but it's popped up for the second out of the inning. And again, I apologize for the crazy camera work. It's hard to pick up. This is the first time we've shot a live broadcast from a baseball field. Now, softball we've broadcasted live from the outfield in our old field at the old elementary school, and then even in Columbus before. But you're talking about nearly 100 feet in difference in distance. And Ray Taylor, man, I appreciate it. You make me feel good, whether you're lying to me or not. He says it's perfect, but I'm sure it's not perfect, but I appreciate it, buddy. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. This ball is going to be popped up. Looks like it's going to be in play. And the right fielder makes the play. It's going to end the inning for the Raiders. We're going to head to the bottom of the third inning, trailing 1-0. Again, another shout out to all these sponsors, Mr. Wilcox, Chris at Wilcox Communications, Aloha, All right, we're back. Bottom of the third inning. Game 1, best of 3 series in Elberton, Georgia. I didn't think we was ever going to get here. And I've been here once before. It's been about 15 years ago. My oldest was just a baby. My dad and my brother-in-law were shooting traditional bows. That's recurve bows during that time period, and came up here for a state tournament. Ball is hit to the second baseman. He's going to make the easy out, and that's only the second, really the first easy out we've had, to be honest. These guys have only one ball has been hit hard, and that was the first batter of the game. Drove it to the gap for a stand-up double. And then the other hits have just been dinkers, which that you got to have it. I'm not knocking it. That's just what they've been getting. But it'll drive a defense crazy. Strike one. It's a good pitch, low in the zone for Tyler. And again, I've said this at every game. Go back and watch the replay. Tyler gets stronger as the game goes on. This young man he's going to be tough for these guys. And here's Bowen as they're back at the top of the lineup. Ball low on that outside. There's another easy out, and I'll call it. We need them. I want to make a shout-out to Mr. Mike Wheeler. I really appreciate his support last week in sponsoring our broadcast in Bleckley, Georgia. Bleckley County, I should say, Cochran, Georgia. Mike Wheeler Insurance Agency. Try to tighten in here a little. Again, when I tighten in too much, it's hard for me to follow the ball. We're not accustomed to moving the camera around much. It's actually a really good angle for us watching the pitcher to catcher. If we had a $1,500 camera switcher with some wireless cameras, we could have a camera over the dugout or something. There's no place to put a camera behind the backstop. The fence is, of course, we didn't get here. We were here an hour and a half early, but we couldn't get a spot behind the plate anywhere, but it wouldn't have worked anyway. Their press box is about 4 feet from the fence, and the fence is one of those thick chain link mesh fences, and the camera wouldn't have worked there anyway. It's just not a real fan-friendly park. It's a pretty baseball field. This ball is chopped. Gets past or between the shortstop and the third baseman. I couldn't tell by the angle exactly may have what happened. I know Noble stayed on his feet, so he didn't attempt to dive for it. Must have been just a base hit. So we have one on, and I apologize. There we go again, Miss Kay. Apologize again for doing a poor job telling who these young men from Elbert County are coming to the plate. It was just difficult for us to see.
Yeah.
This ball is popped out of play down that left field side. If you're having trouble for whatever reasons seeing, maybe you can't hear that. We got a good stream. Checked it on my phone earlier. Sometimes, unfortunately, at home, this ball is popped up to the right side, out of play. Sometimes when you're at home, your bandwidth isn't what it needs to be. So you might need to refresh, log out, log back in. That could help. Had some difficulties with that in the second game last week. But our stream's good here. One on, two outs. Throw over. No balls, two strikes. Strikeout will be huge here for Tyler and the Red Raiders. That ball's hit hard. Stopped. What a great play. And I whipped the camera by it too fast. I'm afraid you missed it, but I'm telling you right now, I call him Will again. Adam Newberry made a tremendous diving stop from the second base position up the middle, tossed it over to second to the force to Nobles for the end of the inning. That's what we got to have defensively. Raiders still trail 1-0 as we head to the top of the fourth. We'll be back in just a moment. Tyler Altman's going to come to the plate for a chance again to help himself. He struck out his first at bat. Swing and a miss. I'll try to tighten up a little here. Sun can't go down fast enough. Barely a cloud in the sky. This ball is hit. Over to first for the out. This Red Raider bats have been really hot, and they've gotten better since the Harlem series. Newberry doing a great job. Just a sophomore. He takes ball 1. Had 2 doubles again the other night in that second game, the 14-4 rout. Takes ball 2. Ball inside. That's a good-looking pitch, but it's 3-0 count here quick. I'm sure he'll be taken here. And it's low. Oh, he calls strike. As I mentioned last week, sometimes the strike zone widens just a little bit, a little more liberal on that 3-0 count. This ball is fouled off, so now it's quickly back to 3-2. Much easier for us to see when we have some shade. I anticipate the second game being a little easier, number one, for us to see, maybe even for you at home. Ball low. Gives us a base runner with 1 out. And we've had base runners in every inning thus far. Keep thinking Mr. Andy Houston's going to go to the press box and fix those 2 names, at least Houston and Nobbs, get it to Houston and Nobles. This young man here, we could take the lead with 1 swing of the bat. And it was just quiet. The crowd isn't, they got a little rambunctious when they scored that first run, but they've been relatively quiet. And it would really quieten things down if he took 1 deep here. But if I'm not mistaken, I think this field is probably, at least down the line, I'd just be guessing, but it just looks a little bit shorter than the average average baseball field. Ball low. Making the pitcher on the mound, he's not a young man, he's a senior. Making him work. 3 balls, no strikes, and that's exactly what he did to Newberry. And that's ball 4. 4 straight pitches. Raiders have something going here. It's going to bring Nobles. I can see that stroll. This young man's a all-region basketball player for the Red Raiders, as well as Foster. Got a real quick visit to the mound here. Again, I want to special thanks to Chris Wilcox and Wilcox Communications for allowing us to broadcast using broadband to send this signal back to Alma, Georgia, and throughout the state of Georgia, and really the United States, and even abroad. We have some folks on occasion, especially during the football season, that in the military that do watch us from all across this great big world. Aloha Tanning Salon. Go see them for all your tanning needs across from Jay's IGA in the plaza, facing US 1. The Blueberry Barn, Miss Ann Wiles. Georgia Mill Supply, Joel Williams Insurance, Miles Auto, and Nichols Pharmacy. Here we go. Nobles to the plate. Runner at first and second. See if the Raiders can work some magic. He takes strike. That might have been the pitch he wanted to swing at. The young man threw 4 balls. He's going to do everything he could to get the ball over the plate, but nonetheless, he takes strike 1. He swings and fouls it out of play. Quickly 0-2 is the count now with 1 out, 2 on. Raiders with a chance to make some noise here. Elbert County has rather just kind of rolled through the playoffs. Ball outside. As they defeated Thomasville in 2 games last week. I believe the scores were 4-1 and 5-0. They did have to travel. They lost the coin toss, went all the way down to southwest Georgia. As Thomasville was the number 1 seed in Region 1 AA. Ball low for Peyton. Ball gets away from the catcher, but no harm there. No runners won't advance. He works the count back to 2-2. Raiders defeated Bleckley County 7-4 in Game 1 and 14-4 in Game 2 to advance to the Final Four. Foul ball stays alive, 2-2, 1 out. Talk to me, Cody. You still there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm alive and well. Yeah.
Ball low. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. There's nobody I'd rather have at the plate in this situation right now than Mr. Peyton Nobles. He's disciplined enough to be able to take a ball for a walk or drive the ball for an RBI single. And he puts the ball in play, and it's going to be hit right here to the right fielder. He tags, unable to advance. Again, just a standard defensive play there, nothing special. Just outside, unfortunately, just a can of corn. He was able to put the bat on the ball. And here comes Livingston, the only true lefty in the lineup. This kid can hit one. He hit a triple the other night to the fence in Bleckley. Puts the bat on the ball. He is tough to throw out on the infield. Still runners at first and second. Raiders need to dig deep here. See if we can't get one across. This ball is fouled. Out of play. Quickly 0-2 count on the young man. Again, just a sophomore. Folks, we will not have a senior on the roster next year for our baseball team unless another kid transfers in or another kid comes out to play. But we're freshmen, sophomores, and seniors this year. That's a good problem to have. A lot of kids getting experience this year, these freshmen and sophomore. This ball is hit right back up the middle for a base hit. Runner's going around. Nope. Oh, it's a play at home. They cut him off. There's the tie and run. That's what our Red Raiders do. It's just a different batter. That's the whole problem of our lineup. I said Nobles, he could get it done. Well, pop fly to right field, and guess who gets it done? Wes Livingston. 1 through 9, I was convinced over this weekend, I convinced myself at least, that 1 through 9, this team has not faced a team like ours. Not at this point, especially the way we're playing now. Any kid can get it done. Here's Cooper Brown, who had a tremendous at-bat as he drew a walk earlier. And looks like we got a little conversation there by the head coach and the umpire behind the plate. But the Raiders have tied it up 1-1 here in the top of the 4th. Just what the doctor ordered. And we have a runner in scoring position at third base. Runners at the corner with 2 outs. And this is our specialty. We score run after run after 2 outs. Xavier Hayes is going to come in and bat for Cooper Brown, it looks like. So Xavier's going to get a chance here, a senior, to do something real special. About to get an RBI in the Final Four. Ball low, gets behind the catcher. He doesn't know where it's at. Runner's going to advance to second, so we now have 2 runners in scoring position. Pitcher a little bit flustered. Again, Xavier, don't get many at-bats. I promise you he's going to take advantage of it. Counts 1-1 now, though. This is a young man that plays back. He's a three-sport guy for the Red Raiders. Super proud of this young man and his attitude on and off the field. He works hard to be a Red Raider. Again, football, basketball, and baseball. Had a knee injury earlier in the football season, had to set out a few games, but he toughed it out, played the latter part of the season. At some point, we'll need some surgery to fix some issues with his knee when he graduates. But he's toughed it out his senior season just to be able to participate. All right, here we go. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ball outside. This pitcher, he's struggling. He's not sure of himself. He's not throwing the ball, if you notice. It's almost like he's trying to he's taking a little time, getting a little rosin. He's putting a little too much thought into it is basically what's happening, which is a good problem for us. Runners at second and third. Base hit would be huge here for Xavier Hayes. That's ball high. And there's a 6-pitch walk. I'll get it out in a second. Bases are loaded now. We're top of the lineup. This is Dow. Dow, he struggled the first game in Bleckley last week, but then he showed out. And Dow we didn't even think he was going to play. He didn't practice the day before. Really didn't practice any after that series with Rabin because he tweaked his knee. Couldn't walk on it for 3 days after. In the second game, he has a couple hits and one a big home run that kind of got things started in the rout. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Let's see what Dow has for us here. And there's that strike right down the middle. Well, if we tied it up, but it'll be a moral victory for this Elbert County team if they can keep us from taking the lead here with bases loaded, or 2 runners in scoring positions prior to that. And he rips it into center field for a base hit. At least one's going to score. He's sending him. Play at the plate. And he's safe. The Raiders take the lead 3-1. Raiders take the lead 3-1. I'm going to tell on some folks back here. You just kind of listen when you go to visit in places. It was the same way last week. Not that these teams were overlooking the Red Raiders, not literally, but again, I sensed a lot of confidence in this field when we walked in, listening to just the attitudes of people, that sort of thing. And they should be. They're a good ball club. But we heard a few predictions behind us, or actually Cody did, as I was setting up about 50 feet behind us, the administrators up the hill there where they wanted us to set up. And they were making some pregame predictions of how these games were going to go down. And let's just say this, the score is different now than they predicted. Ball low. Again, we're going to see a visit here in a second, especially if another runner gets on, at least to talk to the young man, because he's a little tied up right this moment. Another stop at the rosin bag. It's a warm evening, warm afternoon. Probably still in the definitely high 80s as we're staring this sun in the face. I'm going to be red-faced red as this shirt I've got on tonight, I promise you. Ball high. 4-pitch walk by this young man after the base hit that scored 2. Bases are loaded once again. And that's going to bring Foster to the plate. And here's the young man. I said Nobles earlier, but you got a situation now with bases loaded and 2 outs. This cat right here can make it happen too. And there comes a visit from the I don't know the difference between their assistant or their head coach here. They ain't wasting no time. I think they just pulled the young man. I'm not sure, but I'm a little shocked, actually. Well, what this will allow, if they are changing pitchers, which I'm not sure if that's what's happening. I think they may be just. Now we got another kid coming to the mound. There's a righty. This must be their third string guy. Cody, let's see if we pull a name up. I can't see a number from here. Look for the guy with 7 wins on their pitching stats. Let's look. That's the batting, pitching. This must be Lavender. I'm not sure. He's 6-0 on the season. Moon is 12-1, and Bowen is 8-0. I'm assuming this is Lavender, but we'll see. We got to get a. But I tell you what, that guy pulled the trigger awful quick. 3-1, bases loaded, 2 outs here. But what that will allow for is that starting pitcher. I'm not sure how many. I don't know a pitch count. Surely he's thrown over 40. If he's thrown over 40 pitches, then he's only good for one more game. Now, if he's under 60, he can pitch in either of the next 2 games, tonight or tomorrow. That might be something into consideration. Here comes a righty. Looks like he throws the ball pretty hard. This doesn't look like Moon. Moon's a little smaller frame kid. We understand that can natural born bring it, and we'll probably see him again game 2. Maybe we'll see him in game 1 if this thing gets ridiculous. But one base hit here could just bust this thing open because it's definitely quiet now. It's quiet behind me, about 75 feet up the hill where they wanted us and those administrators are at. And but it ain't quite over where the Red Raiders are. I can promise you that. I'm going to swing over here. Y'all look at that right there. That's just a sea of red right there. A sea of red, about 20 deep, 20 high. Here comes Foster to the plate with a righty. We believe it's Lavender. I'd be swinging at the first thing coming right here. Another big, tall pitcher. And he does swing and he misses as it's thrown in the lower zone of the plate. If we could just put it in play. I said all weekend long, if the Raiders can put it in play, we're gonna win this series. There's a foul ball. Quickly 0-2 on Foster. And he needs to settle down a little bit. I'm sure he's pretty jacked. Very emotional player. Very athletic player if you saw any of the pictures from last week as he hurdled the guy running down first base last week to extend an inning. Here we go. That's a ball outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. All we've heard is just pitching from these guys up here, and we've done what we needed to against their first starting pitcher, Bowen. Swing and a miss, strike 3. It's going to end the inning, so they made a good decision. Nonetheless, the Raiders tack on 3. It's 3-1. They're shocked here. We just got to come back here and shut them down for 4 more innings and see if we can't get it done. We're going to take a quick break. That was a long inning. Be back in just a moment on the NFHS Network.